Hello, dear students. Today we are going to learn about prepositions. Prepositions are words that show the relationship of a noun or pronoun with another word in a sentence. We are going to learn what prepositions are and how we use them. Also, we are going to learn about the three different kinds of prepositions in this video. So let's proceed.
There are a lot of prepositions. Let's begin by understanding that why do we need to use prepositions. A preposition is used to show a relationship between a noun or pronoun, that is a naming word, or a pronoun, that is the words which are used in place of nouns, and another word in the sentence. Now we need to keep in mind that a preposition must always be followed by a noun or pronoun in a sentence. It can never be followed by a verb. So we'll see how we use the prepositions and you will understand what do I mean by this statement. First of all, let's see what are prepositions. Prepositions are words that show us the position of nouns, that is where people, objects or things are. Such prepositions are known as prepositions of place. Prepositions also show us the direction of movement of people or objects. These prepositions are known as prepositions of direction. Then prepositions also tell us about time, that is when an action took place or will take place. Children, such prepositions are known as prepositions of time. Hence, we have three different kinds of prepositions, that is preposition of place, preposition of direction and preposition of time. We are going to learn these prepositions one by one. So children, we'll begin with prepositions of place. Under prepositions of place, we have a lot of words like on, in, next to, in front of and so on. And it is very easy to understand prepositions of place. In this particular example which I have taken, we'll be discussing the place of apple in relation to the cartons shown in the picture. In the first example, you can very clearly see that the apple is lying on the box. In the next one, the apple is in the box. In the third example, the apple is lying next to the box. We can also say that the apple is lying beside the box. Beside word means by the side of something. In the fourth example, the apple is placed in front of the box. So in front of means something which is lying in front of another object. In the fifth example, the apple is placed behind the box. In the next one, we have two boxes and the apple is placed between the boxes. So between means when something is lying or somebody is sitting between two objects or people. Now, in the seventh example, the apple is placed under the box. Under means something which is touching the surface of something from below. Then, in the eighth example, we can see the apple through the box. So the carton is open on both the sides and apple can be seen through the openings of the carton. And in the last example, we can see so many apples lying around the box. So around means when an object or a person is surrounded by some other noun. So children, in this slide, we have learnt about various prepositions of place, that is in, on, next to or beside, in front of, behind, between, under, through and around. All these prepositions of place are used to talk about the position of a noun. This noun can be a living or a non-living thing. Now next we move on to prepositions of direction. Prepositions of direction are similar to prepositions of place, but the only difference is in this case your noun is moving. That is, these prepositions of direction show the movement of an object or a person. So let's see the examples. The first one, you can see a mouse is slipping into the box. So this basically means that the mouse is not stationary but it is moving. In the next example, the mouse is coming out of the box. In the third one, a cat is moving around the box. So children, these prepositions of direction like into, out of or in, around can be compared to prepositions of place like in, on or in front of. But in that case, your noun was stationary, and in this case, your noun is moving. Moving on to the fourth example, where the bird is flying away from the box. And in the fifth one, it is moving towards the box or flying towards the box. In the sixth example, past the box means a bird or any other object that crosses or flies past the box. So here we might say that the bird flew past the box. In our seventh example, we can see a frog jumps onto the box, whereas in the next one, it jumps off the box. And in the last one, it jumps over the box. Over the box means without touching the top of the box, it is moving from one side to the other side of the box from above. So in the next row, we can see a snake. In the first picture, it is moving under the wall, and in the next one, it is moving through the pipe, and in the last one here, it moves across the bridge. That is, it moves from one side to the other side of the bridge. In such a case, we say moving across the bridge. We also use this preposition to talk about the movement on the road or through the river. So you must have come across the words like across the river or across the road. Then we talk about the upward and downward movement, that is moving up the stairs or down the stairs. So these are some of the commonly used prepositions of direction. Next, we move on to the prepositions of time. Here on this timeline, I have written a few prepositions: at, on, in, since, for, from, to, till or until, by, while and during. So these are some of the prepositions of time that we are going to discuss in the following slides. The first preposition of time that we are going to discuss is at. So at is first of all used to talk about times of the day or the time by the clock. So we say at 4 o'clock, at 10:30 or at noon or at midnight. Noon, as you all know, is 12 p.m. and midnight is 12 a.m. Then we also use at with meal times, that is at lunchtime, at dinner time or at breakfast. Then at is also used with holidays like at Christmas, at Easter. Here N is printed by mistake. It is not Eastern but Easter. Similarly, we can also say at Diwali or at the weekend. Here, these days, Christmas, Diwali or Easter refer to the holidays that are associated with this period, not the specific day of Christmas or Diwali. Then, we also use at with expressions like at present or at the moment or at night. The next preposition of time is in. So in is used with months, seasons, years, decades or centuries like in April, in summer or in the spring, in 1990 or in 2020, in the 80s, that is a complete decade of 10 years, then centuries like in the 20th century and so on. In is also used for longer periods of time like in the ice age, in the present, in the past, or parts of the day like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, but the exception is we don't say in the night but at night. Children, morning, afternoon, evening and night are parts of the day which are longer in duration. That is 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours or even longer. So for all these parts of the day, we use the preposition in, but night is the only exception where we do not use the preposition in, but we use the preposition at. So this is how we use the prepositions at and in. And next we move on to the preposition of time on. Children, on is used with days, days of the week and other specific days like on Tuesday, on Saturday, on my birthday, on Christmas Day. Here, Christmas Day refers to the specific day of Christmas, that is 25th December. We also say at Christmas, and as I told you, at Christmas refers to the holiday period of Christmas. So, we use on for the specific days like on Halloween. We also use on with dates like on the 15th of June or on 20th May or on our anniversary. Then on is used with parts of specific day like on with day plus part of the day like on Monday morning, on Friday evening, on Saturday night or on Sunday afternoon. Now also note that with the expressions next weekend or next week or last Friday or last week and so on, we do not use the prepositions at or on. So we don't say call me at the next weekend, but we say call me next weekend. Similarly, we don't say I met her on the last Friday, but we say I met her last Friday. So wherever you have words like next or last, we do not use any other preposition there. Now the next preposition of time that we are going to discuss is since. Since is used with the beginning of a period. For example, I have not looked at my phone since yesterday. So beginning with yesterday till today you have not looked at your phone. Then the next one is for. For is used to talk about the duration of a period. Like, I have been working on this project for 2 weeks now. For 2 weeks means you have been working for a period of 2 weeks. The next preposition of time is past. Past follows a time period after a given hour. For example, if somebody asks you, what's the time? You might reply that it's 10:15. 10:15 means quarter, that is 15 minutes past 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. That is 10:15 a.m. or p.m. So we have a few more prepositions of time on this slide. The first one is to. To follows a time period left for the beginning of something. For example, again, somebody asks you, what's the time? And you say, it's 10 to 9. That means 10 minutes are left for 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. So that actually means that the time is 8:50 a.m. or 8:50 p.m. The next preposition of time is from to. So we use from and to with the beginning and end of a period. For example, the restaurant is open from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Children, I hope you have understood these two prepositions of time. The next preposition of time is till or until. It is used to define the end of a period. For example, when you say, I won't be able to deliver this order until Saturday, it means you won't be able to do it before Saturday. So it defines the time period that ends on Saturday. Similarly, you might say, they continued to talk till late night. So this period of time begins at some point of the day or night and ends till late at night. The next preposition is by. It is used to talk about one specific event that will happen before a certain time in the future. For example, the teacher might ask her students to submit the assignments by Saturday. That means this submission must be done before Saturday. Children, I know you must be confused that what is the difference between these prepositions till, until and by. So let's try to understand the difference between these prepositions. We use by for a specific event that will happen before a certain time in the future. And we use until for a continuous event that will continue and then stop at a certain time in the future. For example, when we say please send me the information by Monday, that means this particular event of sending the information that is going to happen one time will be done before Monday. And when we say he is staying in London until the 30th, it means the action of staying in London continues till 30th. Children, I am sure you must have now understood the difference between these prepositions till, until and by. And finally, we move on to the last set of prepositions that we are going to discuss today, where the first one is while. While is used to talk about an action that is in progress when something else happens. For example, the phone rang while I was working on my presentation. That means while the action of working on the presentation was going on, the second action, that is the phone, rang. The next one is during. It is used to talk about the time period when something is happening. For example, many issues were discussed during the meeting. So this action, that is the meeting, was going on, and during this time period something was done or discussed. So that's all regarding prepositions of time. I am sure you must have understood and learned how we use these prepositions of time. And with this, I come to the end of this presentation. I am sure you must have understood all the concepts and enjoyed this presentation. Thank you, children, and have a great day.